Art Lewis, usually here for the Focus program, but Art's not here today. As once again, like yesterday, he is still under the weather. So Charlie here for Art, and hopefully we'll be able to have a good Focus program with my participation. I know it's going to be a good Focus program with our guests' participation. As putting into focus today, it's our friends with Stone Specialists. We talk about Stone Specialists as our studio sponsor of WSGW, and Stone Specialists represented by the founder, the owner, the guy who does whatever's necessary, because it's his business, Jason Treichel, with us this morning in the studio. Jason, good morning to you, and thanks for joining us from Stone Specialists.
Good morning, Charlie.
A little overview. I know you've been out with Art before, but it's always good to remind folks. You are based, you do have two locations.
We have two locations. The first one, the primary one, if you will, is Burton, and then we have our other one here in Midland. And not to underscore the Midland store, of course, though, it's a full-line showroom and slab warehouse. So
I love that. In fact, you just said something I was going to ask about, because if you go to stonespecialists.net, the online source, you make reference to visiting the slab warehouse. You actually invite people into the warehouse itself?
That's correct. Yeah, the warehouses are kind of an extension of our showroom. So they're set up in a way that the customers will actually go there and view the slabs, and, of course, ultimately choose the slab that they want for their project.
We talk about the countertops of granite and quartz, though you deal with marble as well.
Marble as well.
And
yeah.
in fact, I love the way you phrase it on your online site. I mean, folks, you got to love this when they talk about marble. Hundreds of Michigan fudge shops can't be wrong.
Yeah. If you've ever been up to Mackinac Island and you see the fudge shops, they're pouring that boiling fudge right onto the slabs of marble. Most of them are marble,
which should tell you how durable marble can be if they're doing that.
You got to have the right understanding if you're considering marble,
though. Stone Specialists. You founded the company when?
1996. So almost 25 years ago.
And if I said why, I mean, just for the fact of being in business, but were you in the type of business that you are in now, or did you just have, what was the genesis of founding Stone Specialists?
So very similar. I worked in a small stone shop, which primarily was masonry. We were pounding on rocks in a Michigan split stone, putting up cobblestone, things of that nature. I personally have an artistic background, and at that time, the then owner wanted to get into fabricating stone, carving stone, and then so I carved some fireplaces for him, and then he wanted to explore granite countertops at the time. And to make a long story short, I had to leave the company, but kind of pursued a dream of, why don't I just do this on my own?
Well, let's continue a little of the backstory there, because I'm fascinated. An artistic background into stone. I mean, that sounds very specialized. How did that interest come about?
Well, again, back in 1996, a lot of the stone crafting truly was kind of an artisan method with the handwork, the hand finishing and the hand shaping of the stone. And my company progressed. We started with some carving. The market kind of changed, and the countertops became more popular. The carvings are very few and far between now, if you will. So I started out doing the countertops, and of course through the years that's all changed now to digital and CNCs and very minimal hand crafting now.
Well, was this born out of a love that you had growing up? I mean, when you were artistic growing up?
I got through high school basically through art class. I mean, always loved drawing and mold, sculpting stuff.
Were you doing that kind of stuff in school as well?
Oh yeah, high school and the little bit of college I did, it was all art based, definitely.
Is that based on a family background that got you introduced to that, or did you just discover one day that, hey, I've got this talent? I
mean, my parents were very talented in different areas, and it was just something I had and kind of went with it. I mean,
I'm going to say what you had as a gift, from someone who, from my artistry is still drawing stick figures.
Right.
And to know that you can do beyond that and actually do the sculpting and the stonework too.
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, I've always enjoyed it, definitely.
The business itself, you are dealing. Is it fair to say that there's two sides? I would say that's because you have a residential business, people that might come in directly, but you're also dealing with contractors and those that seek you out because they have jobs and they need to get your product.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much anybody that wants a granite or quartz countertop, we're dealing with them. Our strong suit is the direct sales with, say, the end users, the homeowners, and then the builders and contractors. We also, we supply for commercial jobs as well, hotels and banks and restaurants, things of that nature as well.
At what point, because it used to be, going back years, and I know it still exists today, but let's face it, for a long time it was, if you're doing a kitchen, you're doing some kind of laminate countertop.
Yeah. Today it's the staple is granite or quartz.
When did that convert? When did that change? At some point it did, but I'm trying to think because you hear so about it much today. But was it a decade, 2 decades ago?
Well, yeah. So we've been around long enough, since 1996, where those trends have changed while I've been in business. So, laminate countertops used to be kind of the standard. And then there came some other types of countertops out there. And back in the early days, the granite countertop we used to say was for a home that was $500,000 plus. And then over the years it went down to $250,000 plus. The value of a home. Well, now it's a staple in any home, and it's what people are buying. And part of that is because the costs have come down, truly come down. Not on a percentage scale or anything. I mean, straight dollar amounts. I mean, back in 1996, we might tell someone to budget $125, $150 a square foot for a starting point on a granite countertop. Today, big box stores and everybody are offering them, and depending on how they want to market it or advertise it, it might be somewhere around $40 or $50 for entry-level stone countertops. I mean, that's just unheard of. I mean, my sneakers costed more now than they did in 1996. Gas definitely is a lot more. So one of the few items that have truly come down, dollar for dollar. And that technology is what's really driven that.
We're talking with Jason Treichel, again, the founder, the owner of Stone Specialist, stonespecialist.net. We tell you about that all the time. Our studio sponsor of WSGW. We'll continue our conversation with Jason coming up. Also check in with Terry Henney, too, who's out and about for a broadcast today, coming up in just a moment on The Focus Show on WSGW. Charlie in for art today, Jason Treichel, our guest. Jason is the founder, the owner of Stone Specialists, the 2 locations, Burton and Midland, although you are out of the Midland store mainly, Jason?
Well, primarily I'm out of the Burton store, but I back and forth quite often.
Yeah, I think I reversed it. I wanted to say you're out of the Burton store, but you get into the our neighborhood, shall we say?
Yep.
Here. So you were just talking about the affordability.
Yeah.
For where it was when you first started to where it is today, and your business. Do we say it's seasonal for when people come, and do you find it picks up at certain times of the year, certain times that people want to do those projects and such, they come seeking you out?
Yeah, I like to say we're semi-seasonal, meaning, unlike cutting grass or something that's very seasonal, we're cutting countertops all year long, but we definitely have spikes and peaks and valleys. So, and this is industry-wide. I mean, I'm not speaking just for my company. It's industry-wide. So as a consumer, you might want to consider that. But yeah, tax season, Well,
let's talk about
late
that.
winter.
Yeah, because that's coming up for you right now, isn't it?
It's coming upon us. So it's kind of the calm before the storm right now. So with tax season coming on, and then the spring market, we typically see our peak in sales during that time. So coming up here, the next couple months, things will really start ramping up typically.
So let's talk about then, if there is a homeowner who has that idea that they're ready to do something, is it, I think I'll just walk in off the street and I'll talk to Jason and I'll get my product next week? Or what's the plan in order to have, for what a consumer wants to, what they're going to get? Yeah,
we're definitely not selling a gallon of milk here. So you got to plan it out ahead of time, and you're going to want to allow ample time for your project. So, even in this, let's say the off season, you might want to plan from the time you purchase to the time it's completely done. Could be a couple, 2 to 3 weeks, let's just say. And we've taken certain measures here recently to cut the lead times in half in many cases. But as those orders start coming in and the customers start lining up, in a sense, those lead times can really stretch out there. 4 weeks, 5 weeks. We've seen them 6 weeks. Now that's kind of scary. We do everything we can to avoid that, but right now a couple weeks is what it would take to get a new countertop.
So I'm the homeowner, and I know I want a new granite or quartz countertop. That's what I think I know anyway. Do I have to come to you prepared to say, Jason, I know I want this, and I want it this size, and I want it here, or do I come in and say, I got a kitchen, and what can you do for me? You're going to take care of me, I bet.
That's how it often starts. So, yeah, we try to make it very painless. Sometimes it's really overthought. But, yeah, just come on into one of our showrooms. We're fully staffed. We have people there all the time. We've got some real convenient hours to accommodate people's work schedules. Just come in there and start the process. Say, I want a countertop. Well, what do we got to do? So ultimately, if you don't bring us dimensions, we'll probably, we'll go to your house and measure it for you if needed. And that kind of starts the ball rolling in a sense. And
depending, because the products are made up of different capabilities as far as what they're going to serve the homeowner, because you probably would like to know, well, what do you plan to do with this countertop?
Yeah, sometimes that's good to know, and we do try to field the customers and qualify them for the right product. When it's all said and done, most people want a durable countertop, low maintenance, and granite or quartz will fit most of those needs. A lot of times it comes down to finding the right color, and you can find just a huge array of colors and patterns between granite and quartz. So,
because of the technology that you have at your hands, or maybe I should say because of the capability you have with your own personal hands, can you do anything or most anything to meet a homeowner's needs or desires?
By and large, yes. So if you can think it, we can make it, we like to say.
It's not just I want a rectangle that's 42 inches long and 15 inches wide.
So a lot of countertops are relatively standard. You cut rectangles with some mild shapes on it and put a different edge profile on it. But we do some really custom work. Now, sometimes those big ideas come with a little bit more cost. So
sure.
That'll often sometimes defer people's ideas or tone them back, I guess I should say. But yeah, if you could imagine it, we can do it. It just comes down to how much time on the machine, how much work is it going to take to do that. Sometimes that's the driving factor.
And are you working directly with the homeowner, or if the homeowners say it's a brand new kitchen, so now you got your countertops, you got your appliances, you got your cabinetry. How does that all? When does your part come in?
Yeah, exactly. So, homeowners that are just wanting to renovate their kitchen they're doing it on their own. We work directly with them. You don't have to have a contractor. If you just want to get a new countertop, you're welcome to come in and see us, and we'll work with you and work with you through the project and tell you what our capabilities are as far as what parts of that we'll do and so forth. We do a lot of work with builders and contractors as well, so we have different programs depending on who that customer is.
And the work you're doing the work.
We do it. So, yeah, we template the jobs. We use a laser templating system to do that. That gets all the precise dimensions that we need. We cut all the stone. We process it through our shop. And then we also do the installation ourselves. So it helps to avoid any finger pointing, if you will, if something isn't quite right or something along that order. So, yeah, we like to keep it all in-house if possible.
Well, you got your hands on it, especially, again, as the founder and the owner. You're right there on a day-to-day basis.
Take a lot of pride in our work. We really do. We strive to do it right. We always try to do it right once. So,
well, we know it is done right, and that's why we're pleased to associate with Stone Specialists. For people that want to associate with you, to find out about your products, have questions answered, what's the best way to do that, Jason?
Probably just go right to the website, stonespecialists.net, and find the location that's closest to you. Come in to visit us. Our hours, we're open late on Tuesday and Thursdays. We're open till 6.
Is that for both locations?
Both locations. The other days we're open till 5. And Saturday we're open 9 till 3.
Then I know in Midland you're at 114 East Hines.
That's correct.
The Burton location, you're
4217 Davison Road in Burton.
Okay.
Both are real easy to get to. Of course, with anything now, you just Google it, you'll get there.
Yeah, good. Isn't that the truth? Well,
Yeah.
Jason, thanks for coming in today. Jason Treisel, we appreciate your time today.
Thank you very much, Art.
Charlie. That's
Charlie.
okay.
I was going to say Art.
That's
Charlie.
okay. This is where Art usually sits, talking to Art. Founder and owner, and all that's necessary with Stone Specialists. Again, stonespecialists.net to discover what Stone Specialists can do for you in your home.